What's going on, family? And welcome back to Israel's Movie Reviews, aka IMR. And we're going to be discussing Straight Outta Compton. This film was legendary, especially back in 2015. I was really excited to go to the theater and actually see this movie. Big fan, obviously, of Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, rest in peace, Eazy-E. And even though this movie is formed around those three guys, they were more individuals that were a part of N.W.A. And we got to shout out not only Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, but we got to shout out Arabian Prince, who rocked with him for about a year, DJ Yella, MC Ren, and of course, the DOC. And they do get some light in the movie, but like I said, the story basically revolves around the three main characters, which is Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, and Eazy-E, which he funded the group. You know, he was a big-time drug dealer. They needed money. He put his own money down and eventually emerged as one of their lead men. So the rap group N.W.A. emerges from the mean streets of Compton in Los Angeles, California in the mid-1980s and eventually revolutionized hip-hop culture with their music and tells about life in the hood. Man, this movie was definitely legendary. It should have came out a lot sooner than what it came out, but we do got to give respect to these individuals that put it together. And let's start it, right? Let's go back to 1987, where Ice Cube, Dr. Dre are trying to put out this reality rap, right? But they don't know how. They get reluctant. Eazy-E to join them, and they form N.W.A. Faded. Producer Jerry Heller gets involved and helps Eazy create Ruthless Records. And before all that happens, we're gonna go down memory lane, right? So, as you know, they end up signing with Brian Turner at Priority Records. Suge Knight obviously is in this movie, who's a hustler, who's basically always around in the midst, learning. During their initial success, Ice Cube refuses to sign with Jerry because they didn't really trust him, and later decides to go on and do his own thing as a solo act. These young men rise out of the gang-infested LAPD, harassed Compton to give a voice to a new generation. That's basically a summary of the movie. But as we get in depth, you know, we see where Straight Outta Compton originates from. You know, this movie's been attacked by some for whitewashing certain elements, but I don't think that's fair. I mean, any film that deals with a real story is going to be altered for one reason or another. So I don't bash any movie that changes things around. You know, they do it for the sake of entertainment, right? And with that being said, I thought the movie did a very good job at telling the story of this group and the impact they had on the culture at the time. Back in 1987, when they formed, I was just being born. So this is 34 years back. It's not a lot that I remember, but my father was a fan. And their music will live on after them, after me, right? So the story definitely, you know, takes its tolls, takes its, you know, ebbs and flows. But overall, the impact that they had on the culture at the time, it also serves as education to the people who think current music is the new or original. Man, the music now does not compare to the music then. Kudos to director F. Gary Gray. Does a terrific job at keeping the entertainment level extremely high throughout the picture, and even with its long running time, the movie never feels too long. And in fact, there are elements that honestly they could have extended even that runtime. It never gets dull. You never feel like, oh, when is this movie gonna end? No, it does the latter. You know, you want more and more because it's so interesting and so fun, right? The film has many elements. I think the greatest thing the film accomplishes is that they give these people a clear idea of what the culture was at the time. You know, the culture of hip-hop back then definitely wasn't the culture now. I feel like it's changed a lot. You know, N.W.A. helped form a group to leave the streets, to talk about what was happening in the streets, with their lives, with social issues, police issues, corruption, the crack epidemic, right? Now, they're getting into their own thing, gun violence within hip hop, and all this other bullshit that goes on. And I'm not for it. I don't even enjoy the music. The music to me it's not complete trash, but some of it is just the fuck. These kids listen to anything nowadays. But N.W.A definitely had a message. They were definitely going for your ear. And like I said, man, this group really knocked down all sorts of doors for the future upcoming artists. I was a music fan when these albums, obviously, when they originally released, I was just a baby. But as I grew, I listened to them, and they installed in me a sense of culture, and they gave me a sense of history, especially about things that were going on. There's certain things you can't read in the history books that they won't tell you, but their songs, they tell you a lot. And pictured, they're very vivid with their words. And this movie was something fresh and very original. I loved it. The screenplay manages to hit not only the music side of the group, but I thought it paid great attention to the three main leads, as well as the manager played by Paul Giamatti, who, another incredible actor. Glad that he was put in this movie. I thought the character development was excellent, and that's something you usually see in these types of movies. Another major plus were the performances, with the entire cast doing an excellent job in their roles. The real standout was Mitchell, who's simply amazing, wonderful as Eazy-E, and really brings out a lot of depth to that role. Giamatti also deserves a lot of credit for a very powerful performance. Corey Hawkins as Dr. Dre, I think, played a phenomenal role. Necessarily doesn't look like him, but played the role to a T. Really accomplished what I think hip hop wanted to see out of that character. And not to mention, man, Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson Jr., knocked the fucking ball out the park. It's not easy playing your dad. It really isn't. And not only does he look like him, you thought Ice Cube was in the fucking movie. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Him to be his first movie, and he's done a lot of things after this so far. Excellent, excellent job. He really brought it. I think he really wanted to make his father proud, and he definitely did. As you expect, the three main leads obviously get a lot of the attention, and that's the only negative I had. Since these three leads probably got together in real life and decided to set down the screenplay and helped write the movie, but they didn't give a lot of shine to Ren, to Yella, to DOC, really. I feel like those characters could have been full-fledged as well. But then again, you're telling a story where they were pretty much side characters in the whole tale. They probably had significant roles in real life. But when you're telling a story like this, you're going to tell the story about the people that are most visible in hip-hop, in the forefront. And that's Dre, Cube, and R.I.P. Eazy-E. As you'd expect, the music is wonderful, and there's no doubt that it's a terrific-looking movie. The cinematography, the way the movie starts, visually, you think you're in Compton. And I loved that, especially me never being in California. Straight Outta Compton is certainly one of the years of that time, 2015's better movie. What was so surprising is the fact that it really does have a heart to it. And this is especially seen towards the end when Eazy begins to get sick. As we all know, he died from AIDS, complications of AIDS. He slept around, and then you have rumors that Suge Knight had a private meeting with him and eventually either fucked him up or injected him with a needle, and that's how he got AIDS. We will never know. We will never know. But, man, there's a great energy surrounding this biopic. The actors are solid. The fact that I don't recognize them as actors makes it easier to fade into their roles. Of course, the story is not only compelling, it's worthwhile. It's something that you really want to sit down and not only documenting your own mind, but it's something that's like, wow, it leaves you in awe that this really happened. Why did that go on? Did he really fuck these people over like that? You know, was Ice Cube right for leaving the group and going on his own? You know, these questions arose to me when I was watching the movie. So imagine yourself if you're a true hip hop fan. And of course, the story seemed a little bit, at times, a little incoherent because, you know, they left out, I feel like they probably left out a lot. But that's perfectly expected, especially when the participation of these artists are about their artistry. And without them, I don't think the movie would have been made. You know, nevertheless, the story is still fascinating. The music is awesome, as you already know. The last act, for me, was a little bit slow, but I'm nitpicking here. Could have, like I said, extended more. And you could have basically, I would have liked for them to intensified the ending. But, you know, seeing Eazy-E and him passing in the movie was hard to watch anyways. So overall, it's a great watch. Give this movie a 9 out of 10 easily. And definitely go check it out. These performances were top notch. And that's their biopic, man. Go check it out. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. And if you want more pics, or should I say reviews like this, man, to keep coming, subscribe. Let's see. Peace.